Maiyegun làwọn mọ̀ láwọn dòdòdòdò. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ rárá yìí. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Àṣírí ọ̀dẹ̀lú kì í kó nílẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe àní Maiyegun máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe wàá gbọ́ nílẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Politico. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun Diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Àní Maiyegun làwọn mọ̀ dòdòdòdò. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí.
Just a moment. I'll be back.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà yìí. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí. Bàbá bá jẹ́ wúrà. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí. Ìjọ ìdájẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí. Ẹ̀sìn ló bá rú sí o. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí. Ìgbò nìyà gbogbo jẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà yìí.
Thank you very much for joining me. This is Maiyegun Live, and it's good to have you tonight. Maiyegun today. Maiyegun Mawi. Thank you very much for joining me. As I said, this is Maiyegun Live again. And if you are joining me from wherever you're watching from, I would say welcome to Maiyegun's Diary. Today, it's getting better, isn't it? It's going to get so better. Like, it's going to be so, so beautiful. And thank you to all of you who have actually reached out, supporting, sharing the page, inviting people to come and listen to this undiluted, honest, and sincere platform. And this is your own one man, Maiyegun General. So to all of you who are going to be seeing me for the first time, I'll say thank you for joining me. I decided to do this today because it is important that we do this. And I don't know if the caption is currently showing. For some reason, I need to check that out, especially on YouTube. I think we're having an issue with that for some reason. But let's check that up to YouTube. Thank you very much. So for some reason, we seems to be very all right on. We seems to be very all right on YouTube. But on Facebook, the caption is not showing up on Facebook. So I'm just going to let us use the one that is streaming on the screen as your own caption. But I'll get you along. I'll get you into it, and you will get to understand what we are talking about. So share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite everybody. Invite the bad belles. Tell them that Maiyegun is live. Let me check the volume. Yeah, I think we're having an issue with the volume for some reason. I think we're having an issue with that. Let me double check. Oh, I think we are fine with the audio. So thank you very much for joining me. This is Maiyegun Live. And the conversation for tonight is this. For those of you who might have probably not seen it on Facebook, this is the caption. It is HARDTALK tonight. And I want to talk about the land grabbers. I want to talk about the land sellers in Yorubaland. Some of you are educated, but you are displaying stark illiteracy. You are displaying stark ignorance on social media. And I know why. It is politics. Politics makes many of you become so foolish and stupid in your own ignorance. But you will not continue to disgrace us. You will not continue to shift blame. You will not continue to deny the obvious. I am a Yoruba man. I made a post. I made a post, I think it was yesterday. I was just thinking about this whole thing. Then a video popped up. Guys sent me some videos and they said, Maiyegun, have you seen this video? And I was like, it's typical, right? I don't need a video to know how an average Yoruba man wants to deny obvious. But today, you are listening. I mean, you are listening to your brother. You are listening to your peer. You are listening to someone, to do a son who is concerned. And just see whatever I'm going to tell you today from the point of concern, whether you are in the authority, whether you are benefiting from the authority in a way, whether you have the position in any way to influence things in public. I am doing this because of you. And I'm doing this because of those whose ignorance are actually the reason why it will be difficult, very difficult, to advise an average Yoruba man that Nigeria is not for him. But I'll break it down. When we talk about identity, when we talk about what makes you who you are, I am a Yoruba man. I grew up in Ijebu. So which means I grew up from the very, very close part of my own existence as a Yoruba man. So I grew up with everything that made me an Ijebu man. And I knew what a land or what land mean to an average Yoruba man and what it means to this generation of land grabbers, land owners, land sellers, fake, illegal, criminals who are committing crime, huge crime, economic crime against the land that they should be protecting. And I'll tell you why. Everywhere you go in the world, land is so valuable and it's transferable. It means that from one man to another, or let's say from one generation to another, landed property has always been a significant part of the heritage of every individual. That's why they say, in our land, on our land, you cannot do this on our land, because land seems to be what attach you to a place. And if you have been there for so long, you will value it. So you are expected to value the land. And if you are smart enough, you will not sell the land only for you to go and buy cars. You will not sell the land only to go and marry another wife. You will not sell the land only for you to become the talk of the town at different parties. Now, when you do that, what you are doing is that you are selling off your heritage. Then when you turn around and realize that it seems that you have sold everything. Yes, when you sell, there are buyers. And when people buy things, they own it. Do you see the difference? So this is where I'm going to come in tonight. I am a Yoruba man, and I witnessed this part of greed that has enveloped us as a people. We love to blame just everyone else but ourselves in most of the things we did to ourselves. And I'm going to break it down. It's going to be about an hour broadcast tonight. And I want you to take your time and listen to the detail of this presentation. As a Yoruba man, I grew up seeing people selling their lands to their fellow brothers or to people they believe wanted to utilize the land to further help the community, either going into farming or probably selling for those who want to build houses or selling to those who want to build businesses. I grew up knowing that. But as times went by, or let me say, as times gone by or so, something happened and it changed. I also witnessed when people began selling their landed properties simply because it was the thing of the moment at the time. In my own hometown, Odo-Ogbolu in Ijebu, in Odo-Ogbolu local government of Ogun State, under this guise of we were selling to those who wanted to come and invest, I saw people who sold their inheritance, who sold their landed property. They sold my family property. They sold my family landed property. When my great-grandmother was alive, when my grandfather was alive, the people who raised me, I remember that they would take me to different places and say, this land belongs to us. This is this and this is that. I grew up, saw people sold the land. And it's part of one of the things that I believe that one day, yes, one day, I will be able to be in the position to actually reclaim that back and use them for the benefit of the people of the land in Odo-Ogbolu. That is my hometown. And I witnessed that. I don't need anybody to tell me about land grabbers in Yorubaland. And I decided to start from my own land, from my own town, where today 70% of the land in the town are no longer in the hands of the owners of the town. And that is the truth. They sold them so cheaply that there were those who were selling a plot of land for 15,000 naira because the land was so big, were so large. It was easier for them to make a lot of money by selling everything cheaply. These were from my own hometown. Some of you became supporters, defenders, lovers of so many popular Fuji artist clients, those who support, who spray money on Fuji artists in Yorubaland. I grew up seeing that too. In fact, there are so many people who became land grabbers simply because it was the easiest way and easiest access to wealth. So many of them turned out to become land grabbers in Yorubaland. And to cover up, they joined politics too. You know what I mean? In Nigeria, if you want to get involved in any crime and you want to legalize that crime, just join any political party that is in power. You will be covered. Your crime will be covered, and they will turn you to a legal land seller, even though they know that you are a land grabber. You kill people. You sell land, one single plot of land, to 5 people. These are common stories. These were Yorubas. Then I grew up seeing people who couldn't sell their properties again. My father's property is in Ketu in Lagos. My dad has a building, a 2-story building in Ketu. I never slept there. Probably, I don't think I slept there for up to a week in my entire life. And it's because I grew up in Odo-Ogbolu. I grew up in Ijebu. And that is what formed me and shaped me to who I am today. And I'm very grateful for that, because it was a stage in my life that actually made me who I am. To now understand the fact that whatever is not yours, if it's keeping it, if it's kept in your care, all you hold the owner is to carefully care for that thing, including landed properties like houses. But I grew up seeing people selling their fathers, their late parents' properties to those they are now calling foreigners in Yorubaland. I grew up seeing them. They flaunted and they floundered and plundered those money. They become so rich suddenly. They wasted those resources. Those properties, including landed properties, became properties of those they now call foreigners. How can they be foreigners when you sold your inheritance? Do you think unleashing hatred unleashing hate, spreading hatred, using political disguise will win you back all those things you sold? Do you actually think that's how it works? Do you think when you start something like the usual xenophobic attack, or if you start your tribal division using politics to destroy and kill people so that you can gain back what you sold for a bottle of beer? I grew up knowing that. If you are a Yoruba man and you want to be honest to yourself right now, watching me right now, I'm still coming to the part of politics. I am telling you the ground cause of what you want to today turn to tribal nonsense. You sold your inheritance. You watch your peers. You watch your brothers and sisters. They sold what their parents worked for. They sold what their parents handed over to them. They sold everything just because they wanted to look rich. They wanted to appear rich. They didn't invest the money. Many of them built properties for themselves, big palaces that they could not even maintain or manage. They bought themselves expensive automobiles, expensive cars. They lavished expensive parties. They became so popular because they were selling their own inheritance, Yoruba land. They were selling the lands in Yoruba land. They were Yorubas. They were not Igbos. They were not Hausas. They were not Fulanis. Think about that. Then, when it became so lucrative for these our Yoruba brothers and sisters, the Omoniles, Yorubas who speak Yoruba are victims of Yoruba land grabbers. How can you then, as a Yoruba man, as a Yoruba woman, who want to be honest to yourself right now, listening to me right now, how can you then turn around and say some people want to steal your land? Everywhere they go, they want to take over everywhere. Meanwhile, when you are selling those things, we were not reinvesting, we were lavishing, and they are still lavishing. Many of you are victims. You have been victims of land grabbers in Yoruba land. Your brothers, your sisters, they sold one land to 10 of you. They have killed many of you while you are trying to gain back what you paid for. Then how can you then turn around and say someone is trying to take over Yoruba land from you? How? That is where I had that concern. Because if I want to fight for anything, listen, I would love to have a sort of a concrete evidence in a way that you will find it difficult to disagree with me when I say, but this is wrong. Now, I have told you now. I have presented you this. I'm still continuing. This is just a start. We are not yet there. We watch them do this, right? And we watch them unleash mayhem, violence. People were killed. People are being killed. People are being defrauded. You know that, Abi? Those who are doing that, I have never heard of any Emeka. I have never heard of Ikeshuku. I have never heard of any Ngozi. I have never heard of any Nena selling land in any part of Yoruba land. Lagos State, for example, we have seen where your brother will tell you that I want to sell this land. I want to sell this land for 20 million naira. And that same brother of yours that speaks Yoruba like you will turn around and tell you that 20 million naira land is no longer 20 million because someone is ready to pay 40 million. Then you turn around, you say, and he is ready to take the money. He wants to take it. He is now asking you that, except you are ready to pay that 40 million or 45 million, he is not going to sell it to you. He's going to sell it to someone else. Then you turn around. Then you see Uche, who wants to pay 40 million. You don't know. Maybe because Uche says he wants to buy the land, your brother told Uche that I can only sell the land for 50 million. And Uche says he's going to buy it for 40 million. But your brother turned around and is now telling you he's no longer selling to you. And the next person you will blame is that Uche, who also needed land for an investment just like you. But your brother choose someone who will pay more. And this is the game. You know that is the game. Abi? You know that is it, Abi? You have seen your brothers who suddenly, who knows that this mechanic village back 40 years ago, they gave it to a group of people. And that group of people, they are the owner. Many of them were gone, are now dead. But as the current owner, some people have played prank on you. They have changed the documents, sold the land. They didn't tell you about it. Collect the money. One day you wake up, you come to your workshop, and hey, there is a signboard that says you must move. Hey, who bought the land? One Alhaji Haruna from Kano. How could Alhaji Haruna buy? Hey, they want to take over our land. Where is your brother who sold him land? The same thing is happening in government. You have people in government whose only role, only responsibility is to protect what they value in the land, what attaches you to the land, your language, your security, your prosperity, your protection in your own country. These are the things that makes you valuable. These are the things that attaches you to your land. But what are your government doing? The Yorubas, they are in government. They make laws for you. They make laws on land in Yoruba land. Those who make laws on who sells and buy land in Yoruba land, they are not Igbos. They are not Hausas. They are not Fulanis. They are Yorubas. They speak the same language like me and you. How can I then turn around and say an Hausa man want to take over my land, an Igbo man want to take over my land, when I am seeing my brothers and sisters selling the lands, advertising the land cheaply to give them away for no just other reason, just for them to feel good, just for them to live big, just for them to live the luxurious life that they cannot afford. Who do you blame? The buyer or the seller? I am coming. There is another part. And before we get to that, let me take, what do you call it? Let me take this quick short break. A minute. Thank you very much. Yes. Who is buying? Who is selling? Now, another angle is that of your government I was explaining earlier. You have people who have the capacity, who have the political power, who have the political will to ensure that every land in Yoruba land, if they genuinely love the land, as you want us to believe, some people said they are going to come for me. Now today, if you are new or you are just watching or following Maiyegun, don't worry, you will get used to it. Nobody comes for me. I go for them. You can tell. And that is why I will always be here. Because all they do, they can attack my personality. They can tell me, they can say anything about me, whatever they like. But they would never, ever be able to counter or at least discredit these facts I am laying bare to all of you. You can judge it. It is a common sense thing. They have the power. They have the political will. They have the what else? To make laws, probably make it difficult for people to sell land to anyone outside Yoruba land. But it doesn't make any sense in the first place. They won't do that because you have every right to buy any land. You don't force people to sell. If I want to sell my family land, I can sell it. Yes, I can. But I cannot turn around and then blame the person who bought the land from me and say he's trying to take over my land. When I collect, probably when he paid me, I decided to go to just, to flex, buy a Ferrari, buy one house in Lekki, big money. You know what I mean? Then within 2 years, I'm broke. I'm looking for other family members' land to sell. Then I begin to look for my history. What I'm interested in is that which part of Nigeria does my family have land? We need to sell land, or else this guy go broke. So how can I just be like that? It doesn't make any sense. So they choose not to. By the way, they choose not to. In fact, from record, your government in Yoruba land, the past and the present, they are also criminals. They are land grabbers too. Are you shocked? You know, shock me, bros. Every political leader in Yoruba land, past and present, and possibly the future, is a past or has been a land grabber. Let me put it this way. Every past Yoruba political leader, every past, traditional rulers, many of them, right? The present political office holders in Yoruba land, they are all land grabbers. And I will tell you how they are land grabbers. The potential one, the collateral mumus, many of them are also potential land grabbers, because if they join government, they will also grab land that doesn't belong to them. You know what they do what they do in Yoruba land? They share land. Land is part of the gift they give to you when you join political parties in Nigeria. Nobody knows where the land comes from. They say it's government land. What is government land? Government goes somewhere, map the land and say, this is a government area. Then at the end of the day, you see politicians. They are cutting the land. They are selling, they are giving the land to themselves. Sharing the land as part of the gift. They even share land to the point that they share land to permanent secretaries. They will say, oh, Lagos State government gave land, one plot of land to, Ondo State government give one land. They will say, hey, thank you. You know what they are doing? They were grabbing land that they don't care who is the owner. They just put government, what have you on it. In the process, they are also dashing out land. You heard about Ruga for Fulani herdsmen. The champion of Ruga, those who brought the idea of Ruga, they were Yoruba political leaders. Starting from fake pastor Yemi Osunbade, the Ikene, what do you call him again? Ikene Aristotle. Or you can call him Ikene Shatabandu. He's a fake pastor. He was the one who brought the idea of a Ruga, that Yoruba land should give land to Fulanis. You, a Yoruba man. Many of you supported the idea. Do you know that? You, listen to me right now. You. Buhari Didere. Okponu afofungbemu. Lagos Abobaku. You are using your politics, the politics that has blinded you. You are using that to argue with people like us. Okponu. The people who were championing Ruga in Nigeria, the people who brought the idea of Ruga, they were Yoruba people. And the champion of that is the now detained, dismissed, or deceased fake pastor Yemi Osunbade, Ikene Shatabandu. Ruga, they say Yoruba should give land, or we give our lives, or Fulani will kill us. How can you then turn around to want to tell us to be careful of the Igbos who are paying your brothers, who are paying your sisters millions of naira, selling the land? How can those people be the ones who want to grab your land when your brothers, your leaders, your political leaders, when they are busy, they want to dash the land, if not because of the noise we made? That many of them realize that they will never come back to Yoruba land if they seize any part of Yoruba land. Is that not land grabbing? Are those not people who want to steal your identity? Are those not people who want to take over everywhere, including your brother, Omonile, the one you are doing PA to, that criminal that you are doing SA to, you are doing Facebook, social media, image laundering for? That thug, is he an Igbo man? That guy that is selling land in Lagos, selling land there in Ibadan, selling land in Oyo, selling land everywhere. What about the political leader? What about the royal fathers? Are we going to pretend that they are not selling lands? Are we going to pretend that the Chinese that are suddenly springing up in Yoruba land, drilling our mineral resources secretly. Are you telling me that the traditional rulers in those communities, they don't know about them? Are those Igbos who are coming to take over your land? In Osun State, part of the reason why the Kabiesi, the Emir of Igbo, the reason why he's in the news all the time is because he slapped the king. He slapped his fellow king. Can you imagine? They were fighting over land. You like say some of them were selling the land. They said the land belongs to them. It belongs to their forefathers. In Igbo, some of you have heard about the story, Abi, in Osun. Oluwo, Emir of Igbo, he slapped another king because they sold the land the guy want to sell. He is also selling land though. You know the funniest thing? The royal father will come out and tell you, I am fighting other royal fathers because they are selling land. Those ones are saying he's fighting us because we are selling land in our own territory. But he believed that he's an emir that covers everywhere and he owns all land and he's the one who should be selling the land. In Yoruba land, are those Igbos? Are those Igbos? And don't you think that those they are collecting money from, they are the owners of the land? In my own village, in Odo Bolu, I am saying this because many of them are watching me too. In Odo Bolu today, 70% of the land are no longer in the hands of the people of the land anymore. 70%. They are now in the... Though, they are still Yoruba. Many of them are not. I've not done my investigation on that, but I can tell you confidently, 70% of the land. And this cut across Yoruba land. It cut across Ijebu land as I'm speaking to you right now. So in the next 10, 20 years, what are you going to do? Those land that you sold, people will live on them, people will grow on them, family will be raised, communities will be raised, and they will need representation. That's where I'm going. You are sad that you are selling your land for people for money. You are selling your land to people for money, not because you love the land, not because you love Yoruba land, not because you even care. If they want to sell Yoruba land, they can sell Yoruba land. You are selling warehouses. Even those who have money in Yoruba land, let's even talk about them too. We have people who have money in Yoruba land. Many of them, they are billionaires without addresses. They are politicians. They live off the system indirectly. Okay? They are billionaires. You will see them billionaire. They have no business. Okay? In Yoruba land. Some of them who now pretended to at least investing in Yoruba land, churches. They are buying warehouses where we should be constructing, we should be building, we should be producing. They are turning warehouses in Yoruba land to big auditorium, to big churches where people go to go and pray for employment in Yoruba land. Who do you blame? Who do you blame? We should blame Hausa. We should blame Fulani. We should blame Igbos. We should blame Biafrans, happy. They are so this. I don't like them. They are this and that. Why don't you tell us the truth? That you are just jealous. How is that difficult? You can say it. Yes, you can say it. Some of you do the same to me. I am supposed to be a brother to you. I'm supposed to be someone who can tell you the truth. I'm supposed to be someone who should feel comfortable to tell you the truth. You know the truth anyway, but you choose what is true to you. Fine, but I am your brother. How do you see me? Some of you, when your politics come into it, you lose your mind, you lose your brain. You begin talking trash just to defend what you know is absolute trash. Reason, Amo, I'm asking you. Think about it. You have people who have the opportunity. If you don't like it, if this is not good for you, you can stop it. There are laws that can stop it. There are so many. They come here, they sell fake drug. That is the most stupid things I have ever heard. And funny enough, there are so many people who love to use this rhetoric. You are just pushing your ignorance too far. Yoruba land is Yoruba land. If you care and love Yoruba land genuinely, you will report any shop where they are producing fake drug. You will report any importer that is bringing fake drug into Yorubaland. Anyone that is bringing fake product to Yorubaland, you will report them. And guess what? When you report them, you will expect your leaders, your political leaders, your opinion leaders, your lawmakers, your law, those who implement your laws. You would expect them to protect Yorubaland from fake drugs, fake products, and fake this and fake that, as you are saying. Because that argument doesn't hold water. If your government and the people who are supposed to protect you against those things don't give a damn about you, what does that tell you? Let us blame an Igbo man that is bringing a fake drug to Yorubaland. Don't let us blame our political leaders who have the political will, who have the political power, who have everything to stop it. But they are not going to stop it. But since they are not going to stop it, let us just blame the people who do it. But have you heard that your brothers are also in the business too? Do you want to tell me that they initiated your brother into selling fake drugs too? Have you been to Balogun? I have seen videos. I have seen evidence of people arrested for fake drug importation in Nigeria. But guess what? From those who import to those who clear to those who begin to distribute, by the time you check, you will find your brothers there. And that your brother driving nice Jeep, driving nice car, he is telling you that, you know, he's not a medical doctor. You know, he didn't go to any medical school. He had no medical training. All of a sudden, he is a dealer and supplier in medicine. And to you, he's doing a legit business because he's a Yoruba man. He cannot deal a fake drug. How foolish are you? If that is the belief you have, that the only people who deal in fake drugs or who import fake stuff to Yorubaland, they must be Igbos. Who are those who clear them? Who are those who see them, distributed? Who are those of you who buy them? Who could actually alert? How many of you? How long do you think you are going to live that lie? How many of you live off fake? You are selling fake this, fake that. In Jumata right now, you are doing. You are selling fake this, fake this. What do you call it? Stolen disc, stolen CD, copyrighted CD. You've stolen them. You've dubbed them into 1,000 copies. You are pirated copies. They call them pirates. Your brothers are selling them. Igbos are selling them. Awusas are selling them. Every one of you are selling them. But it's good. It's very good for us to turn around and say, oh, those who deal in fake this and that. But you know, when we begin to arrest, we are going to arrest that man that is paying your school fees. Do you know that? We are going to arrest that your auntie that is taking care of your family in the village. Because by the time you find out, she has actually been part of it. That is the reason why they have not been able to stop it. And if you want to stop it now, it starts from you. Then it goes to those who are responsible, those who make laws in Yorubaland. They are your government. It is their job. It is not you to live in fear and say, this is fake, this is this, when they are all benefiting from it. And guess what? You know it. When they import the fake drug, when they import the fake this and that, when they import fake chicken, when they import expire this, expire that to Yorubaland, many of your own political leaders, many of your own office holders, from policemen to army to different many of you, you will always be part of those who will guide and protect those imported fake harmful stuff into Nigeria. You will protect them until they get to the warehouse. Then you can turn around and tell us it is the people who bring them in that ate Yorubaland. What about you who have been feeding from it? Do you want us to ignore that? Right? Pretend? Yeah, let's pretend. Let's pretend that it's not happening. Probably that makes you feel better. But it doesn't make me feel better because it's a lie. It's a lie you are telling to yourself. And if you want to end it, then you begin to ask the right question from the right people. And you'll begin to demand for the right answers as well. Because if they don't give the right answers, then you don't stop asking, do you? People sell land for money. They are not selling the land. Some of you, they actually sold land, though. You know, they sold land, though, to send you abroad, though. They sold land, though, to send you to school, though. But lucky you, most of the land they sold then, they sold them to those who believe you will have them, the Yoruba people. But what can you do to those Omonile who are carrying guns, who are killing people every day in Aja axis, in Ibadan, in Oyo, in Oshogbo, in Oshun, in Ondo, in Ogun State, Ekiti State. These are Yoruba land. What are you saying about them? I have never seen one Chukwuemeka arrested for land grabbing in Nigeria. I mean, in Yoruba land. I'm yet to see one. And another unintelligent argument that some of you are raising up as well. I'm coming back to politics because that is where I'm going to break the whole table now. Because that is where I'm going to start mentioning names. But to some of you, just hang on for a minute. I want to pick up the maybe not. Yeah, let's take on the politics there, the political part of it. The point I'm trying to make here is this. If you feel like, although it's so late now, because people will continue to buy. Some of you will continue to sell. And as long as you continue to sell, right, the buyers will continue to own the land. Now to the political part of it. Lagos State today, by statistic, says that we have the population of, in the population of Lagos State right now, 35% of them are non-Lagosians. That's the irony of it, yeah? But the funniest part of it is that among the 35% of those who are not Lagosians, there are people who claim to be Lagosians themselves, who are actually not from Lagos, but they are Yorubas. I will start with the Jaga Bandit, Thief Numbu, Jaga Bandit of Lagos, the Jagawiri of Lagos. He is not from Lagos State. He is originally from Iragbiji in Osun State. Osun State, that's where Tinubu came from. As a young boy, he was adopted by late Abibatu Mogaji. Abibatu Mogaji, who happened to be a Lagos popular, market leader and a politician, adopted Atonda Ogunlere or Shongolere. That was Tinubu's name. And she gave him the name Bola Ahmed. That was how Tinubu became a Lagosian at a very young age of about maybe 12, 13. So Tinubu, who is today's leader of Lagos State, is not from Lagos State. Tinubu's wife, Remi Tinubu, who has been the Lagos State first lady, and today she's representing, I think she's representing Lagos, Lagos South or whatever, Lagos Central or thereabout. She's representing Lagos Central Senatorial District right now, right? She's from Edo State. The second senator who is representing Lagos West, his name is Yayi. Let me use that name, Solomon Yayi. The senator representing Lagos West is not from Lagos State. He is from Ilaro, according to him, in Ogun State. The senator representing the Lagos East, the entire eastern part of Lagos State, is also not from Lagos State. He is in fact from Ijebu in Ogun State. So these are the governor, the current governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu. According to people as well, they say he's not from Lagos State as well. But let's leave that as it is. There are so many of them. Sanwo-Olu is my brother from Ijebu as well. But however, this alone tells you that 35% of people who are currently claiming to be from Lagos State, they are not real from Lagos State. They are from somewhere else. And because they speak Yoruba, that gives them some leverage. And over the years as well, because many of our brothers and sisters have sold their father's properties, their parents' inherited lands and all of that, to those they now called strangers, the Igbos mostly. Today, a part of Lagos State is well known to be well populated with the Igbos, mostly people of the eastern part of Nigeria, the Ajegunle side of it. And on like that. When you begin to go to Okukumaiko, Ajangbadi, when you begin to go to all those areas, they were well populated. And guess what? They are property owners there. When you get to First Stack, you will realize that they bought their lands years and years ago, even after the Civil War. So they own the land, they own the properties, they pay property tax, they pay every tax to Lagos state government. But there is a discrimination. The discrimination is, once you are a Yoruba man and you are from anywhere in Nigeria, I mean anywhere from Yorubaland, in Lagos state, Lagos is a welcome home for all of us. As an Ijebu man, with property in Lagos, I have properties in Lagos, right? That means I can run for any political office in Lagos state if I belong to the right political caucus, even though I am from Odo-Ogbolu or from Ijebu Igbo in Ogun state, Ijebu land. So I have leverage, right? Even if I don't have properties at all, many of them who are today billionaires in Lagos state, who are today multi-billionaires in Lagos state, who are today many property owners in Lagos state, including Tinubu himself, who has become the chief landlord of Lagos state today. They all have this privilege because of their Yoruba advantage. It is not because they brought the property to Lagos state. It's not because they inherited anything from their parents in Lagos state, because their parents were never from Lagos state in the first instance. So they manage to use the political advantage they have to become property owners. They use the advantage of the Yoruba they are to become superior political power in Lagos state. But there is a record that 35% of those living in Lagos state are not Yorubas. And they are property owners in Lagos state. They are business owners in Lagos state. They are taxpayers in Lagos state. Every time that Lagos state says they raise revenue of 100 billion, 200 billion, 500 billion, whatever billion they say they raise in tax, in revenue, in anything, these taxes comes from those who are doing businesses, who have properties, and who are doing businesses in Lagos state, either working, including those who are working in Lagos state. It didn't say the tax are from Yoruba taxpayers. And by all calculation, they own Lagos state too. But they don't have that same leverage because they don't speak Yoruba. So eventually, they decided to make their own political stance known, which is the greatest thing to do. Today, those areas I told you of now have strong political representation in Lagos state, though they have been stifled a lot. And even when they have this political representation, they don't still get represented in Lagos state. We know that because of the political discrimination. But you cannot deny the fact that they are legal property owners. They are legal land owners. They are legal residents of Lagos state. And by calculation, by all calculations, right? By your own definition of one Nigeria, then they have the right to live everywhere. What do you say to those who want to grab your land? What do you say to those who say, if you don't leave your land and you get killed for it, it's your business? What do you say to them? You praise them. You shut up. And you keep quiet. And you are a Yoruba man. And in 20 years' time, you want to call back and say, you warned us that the Igbos, the Fulanis, the Hausas, they will take over the Yoruba land. You did nothing. You know what you are doing right now? When you belong into that, when you belong to that line of thought, when you belong to that line of existence, what you are doing is this: you are helping those who are selling Yoruba land off. And when we say Oduduwa Republic, where is going to be that republic? Are you not sure you are going to share that republic at the end of the day? If you continue with this narrative of let us blame the buyers, let us blame the legal buyers, and let us ignore the illegal sellers who don't give a damn about the land that you want to pretend to love. And when you support them, you are actually validating what they are doing. I'm not your problem. I can never be your problem. I've got very great content. I've got great stuffs that I share with the world all the time. And to God be the glory. YouTube has finally acknowledged that, right? Which is great. People have been downloading my videos on Maiyegun's diary. I have seen thousands of my videos. I mean, hundreds of that with thousands of views. I love that. I love them, right? But what is wrong if I begin to actually reach out to my YouTube fans directly, undiluted? Then YouTube says, this is a great quality content. We would love to work with you. Which means they love the audience. They love you. They love what we are doing. They want to advertise on my page. That makes it legit. That makes me legit enough to tell you that if I turn out to become a popular YouTuber tomorrow, it is to your own glory. It is not because of the money involved. It is to tell you that we are doing something great, something original, something real. It is not, this is not many on social media. How can you turn around and say, Maiyegun is after money? Are you after poverty in your life? Do you really think running this is cheap? Then you deserve your leaders who told you that they could build you electricity for the past 60 years. Rather than build you that, they gave you darkness because you will believe anything. You will be stupid enough not to know that the world we live in today, right? My own intellectual property alone is enough for me never to become a political ass licker to any goddamn human being, living or dead. Don't you think that is the independence that many of you should be working towards? Originality, great content, like undisputable platform where you just get glued to it. How could you be so stupid enough to compare this with what your leaders are doing to you? You should be grateful. And I'm proud. I am very proud of what we have done. I'm very proud of what we have achieved. And I'm very, very proud of what we are going to achieve still, because this is just a scratch. We have not even started. So I am a Yoruba man. I want something that is genuine, something that gives me a real conversation. I mean, conversation that genuinely affects Yoruba, not a lousy noise that makes you feel like those who are indeed responsible, those who are supposed to, okay, we are talking about the Oduduwa Republic. Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult for those who are leading Nigeria, or those who are leading Yoruba land, to reason with you and me? Why is it so difficult? There is poverty. There's a limited opportunity. We can see our young people turning into what they shouldn't be turning into. Unproductive. We are breeding an unproductive army of young people. What do you think will happen? Crime will escalate. What do you think will happen to that graduate who has been jobless for the past 10 years? You don't care how he's been surviving, and you don't care if he turned to crime. So as a Yoruba man, what do you think should be the problem? If they say it's because we cannot extract and utilize our own natural and mineral resources in Yoruba land, who says we can't? They say because we are part of Nigeria. Oh, they say a Yoruba man cannot actually, in Yoruba land, the Apapa seaport, the busiest seaport in Nigeria, a Yoruba cannot take tax from there, but an Hausa man can represent a federal government, a proxy pickpocket regime in Nigeria, to take that revenue. And me as a Yoruba man, I can continue to rant. I can continue to complain. You as a Yoruba man, you can continue to attack me and tell me to give you solution. What the fuck are you talking about? What solution are you asking for? We have people who have the political power, who have the political clout. All the status of assembly in Yoruba land, the people making laws in them, they are Yorubas. All this Yoruba states in Yoruba land, I mean in Nigeria, they are the governors in Yoruba land, they are Yoruba governors. What the hell are you telling me? What the hell are you trying to bring up? In the, let's even think about it. What do you think I should do? When indeed there are people who have the power, they speak Yoruba. So if what I'm saying doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't make sense to them. So who do you think will change it? So why are you asking stupid questions on social media? My friend, come down and do it when you are already campaigning for Tinubu to be your president. How does that make any sense? They speak Yoruba. There is poverty in Yoruba land. There is insecurity in Yoruba land. There is inequality in Yoruba land. There is all of these things. You know it. I know it. I'm talking about them. We are calling on ourselves to do the right thing if we genuinely care about the land. And stop blaming others. Stop blaming others. If you don't like it, you change it. In Yoruba land, there is no rich man. There is no one billionaire in Yoruba land that could build a refinery for Yoruba land. And at the end of the day, end the oil importation in Nigeria. For 60 years, we've been talking about it. For 60 years. There is no single Yoruba billionaire that could build that refinery. At least build a refinery. Let's see if they will demolish the refinery. But they are not interested. They didn't build one. They said Nigeria didn't build. Did any Yoruba man build anyone? Why can't a Yoruba man build that? Is that not an economic power for Yoruba people, for Yoruba man to build a bigger refinery in 60 years in Yoruba land? But a Yoruba man will convince you and tell you that it makes sense for Nigeria to export crude oil and import finished products when they can easily build one refinery in Ogun State, build one refinery in Lagos State, and then begin to pump the refined product onto different vessels on Lagos Sea and supply Nigeria refined product for 60 years. Did the Yoruba man build one? No. So if a Yoruba man couldn't build a refinery for 60 years, okay, fine. I'm giving you this because there are so many economic ways that a united Yoruba land, a prosperous Yoruba land with leaders who genuinely want a prosperous Yoruba land. What they could have done to have created wealth in Yoruba land, to create a missing opportunity for all of us in the absence and in the failure of different governments in Nigeria. Did we build one? Did we try to? We didn't even build our infrastructures. We didn't build our schools, right? We didn't build our roads. We live in darkness. No real hospitals. No medical attention for our aged. We suffer. We die in poverty. And you want me to sit down here and blame an Igbo man who left his own village for the same reason, came down to Lagos, where you, a Lagosian, where you, a Yoruba man, is living like you are in a foreign land. Then he hustled, and your brother charged him millions of naira and sold his inheritance to that Igbo man who left his village, as you want to claim, with no money. Do you want me to go on and on and on? They didn't do it. Today, the same Yoruba land is ready to provide land for Dangote to build a refinery in Yoruba land. What does that tell you? Do you still think an Igbo man is the problem? Do you really think an Hausa man is the problem? Do you really think sending them away is actually the solution when your leaders who are supposed to be building society for you are building empires for themselves, and they are making their children the inheritance of all these empires? How do you then go about and feel comfortable and blame other people who are also victims of the same rotten system? If Nigeria is not working, if something is not working, if we are not progressing as a people, if there is a limitation being faced by your political leaders, past and present, retired and active, if there is something that makes it difficult for them to fix Yoruba land, don't you think it is better to channel our energy into asking them for that reason? Because we want them. If there is no solution anymore for them, because we know there is none, break up Nigeria, re-strategize Yoruba land, remake laws that actually care and cater for the Yoruba people and those who are living in Yoruba land. Create a society that our generation will be proud to leave behind for those coming behind us. Do you think being an all-riser, being an abobaku, being an ass-licker, being a crumb chaser, being a Buharideen or a Buhari Didere, or being a Buhari Dinotu, a Buhari Dijatu, or maybe you are a Buhari Shuku, Anunekari, Ungosiari, or maybe you have chosen to be an obedient fool, humbled slave, or a sophisticated moron, or maybe you are currently living outside Nigeria and you have chosen to be a Mumumadu, a Bele lecturer or a Mumu lecturer, I am asking you directly, how difficult is it if they say the reason why we can't do all of this, the reason why we can't have 24 hours electricity, even if the rest of Nigeria don't care if they have electricity or not, the reason why we can't have a motorable road or build good schools and build good hospitals is because we are not allowed to use and utilize our own natural human resources. If they say the reason why we are not progressing is because there is no enough resources to help our people, because Nigeria is taking all the money and we are now beggars. We are now beggars. We are beggars. Yorubas are beggars. Yoruba political leaders are beggars. In Nigeria, every month they go to Abuja to chase their allocation. Elected officials from Yorubaland, from time immemorial, many of them are joining politics just to become another beggar who will pretend to be leading Yorubaland. They are beggars. They go to Abuja every month to beg for allocation. And whatever they give to them is what they call their own allocation that month. And their people can suffer. Their people can die. It doesn't really matter, right? Now, if we have to stop being beggars, if being part of Nigeria will keep us being beggars, why can't we ask them to break up? Let us all sit down again. Let us determine the type of government we want in Yorubaland. If these political leaders are not going to do it, why should you, out of ignorance or deliberate, or let me say selective amnesia, right, decided to blame other people for something we can fix, something we have the power, something that those who claim to love Yorubaland should be thinking about right now? We are selling warehouses to construct them to churches. Our youth are roaming the streets. They don't have jobs after school. Now they are going to the churches to go and pray for miracle so that they can get jobs. But every day, right, industrial parks are being converted into real estate park, where people are now selling houses for poor people at 40 million naira, 30 million naira. Poor people without job, 30-year-olds living in their own parents' house, waiting for their parent to die so that they can become the youngest landlord in town. And they can print a business card and say, I am an estate agent, or let me say I am an estate owner, whatever you want to call yourself. Is that the life you really want? Before you know it, let me tell you this, before you know it, everything will be gone. You will be renting properties. You will be renting properties for your businesses. You'll be renting properties for your homes from the people you want to call strangers. But do you know one thing again? Even if you riot, even if you try to start any tribal war, right? You don't even have the economic power to do it. You know why? Your leaders didn't empower you. They turn all of you to Agbero. They turn you to people who now believe that you need the right connection to get the right job, not the right education. Who will survive in such environment? As a Yoruba man, today, you know what you are facing. You know what it is to you personally. But if you take the politics part of it out and you reason on with me, you will realize that even if a tribal war starts today, apart from their political thugs, their ragtag political thugs, would you be able to defend yourself? Do you have the economic power to defend yourself? Your leaders have stolen that from you. They stole the real job. They refuse to give real education. They refuse to raise real generation, strong people who want to build a society. Instead, what Yoruba political leaders raised, they raised armed robbers. They raised pen robbers. They raised documented forgers. They raised manipulators. They raised liars. They raised hypocrites. They raised the crumb chasers, ass lickers. People who will tell them that they are never wrong. But look at us. Look outside there. Look at the poverty. Look at the people. Look at our parents. Look at our aged people. Look at our retirees. Look at those who we were supposed to protect with everything we have as a people. But for political exigencies, we traded them off. But for personal greed, we sold our inheritance. And when everything is done and done for, we are now crying. We are now crying as victims. Do you really think everyone will believe us that we are indeed victims? People who want to lose their properties, people who are going to lose their land because some people wanted to take them from you. because some people want to rule over you. Are you sure the world will believe us? I don't think so. That is why you should start having a rethink. If you are in political office, if you are in any position, you are a traditional ruler, you are a leader, and you believe in the concept of the homogeneity of land ownership, the attachment to the ancestral land that really make you who you are. I'm not saying you can't share your land. Share the land. Share the prosperity. Let people explore the prosperity in the land. But what? Don't sell your land. There is a lease. There is a lease plan in law. Lease your land. If you want to lease your land for 20 years, if you want to lease your property for 30 years, if you want to lease it for 10 years, get a good lawyer. Get a good chamber. Write this. Don't sell your lands. Nobody is trying to take your land. Your brothers are selling them. They are selling them not to make Oduduwa land great, not to make Yoruba land great, not to make Yoruba land independent, not to make Yoruba land prosperous. They are selling them because of their own greed. And they are wasting the resources on frivolous things. At the end of the day, all these properties will be gone. And the real owners will continue to claim them. No tribal war, no politically influenced tribal war will make them lose those properties. Because if you think critically, you don't have that political strength. You don't have that economic power. Not now. But for those who are yet to sell theirs, please don't sell your lands. Don't sell your parents' property. No matter the situation, get a very good financial advisor. Get a very good lawyer, financial lawyer. Let them advise you. That property, that landed property that was transferred from your forefathers to the fathers after them to your own father. Possibly, you are lucky enough to be the son, or you are lucky enough to be the head of the family. When you sell that land, you have sold your inheritance. You have no right to claim that anyone is coming to take over Oduduwa Republic or take over Oduduwa land. The only people who are selling off Oduduwa land are the real Oduduwa sons and daughters. And if we don't stop them, they will be the bastards, the Omo Alis among us that will eventually expose all of us. There will be nothing for us. There will be nothing left for us to defend if we don't say the truth, if we don't face it the way it is. Stop blaming people. Start asking real questions. And stop asking Tinubu to fight for you. Tinubu is also a land grabber. He has grabbed all the lands they could grab in Lagos State. Those who are jealous in other parts of Yoruba land, they are land grabbers too. Trace their history. Trace their time in office. Check what they did with their own time. In fact, when they even left, they didn't even leave the key to our own kolo. When they were leaving, they punched a hole in our kolo, in the Commonwealth of Yoruba land. All of them put what they call retirement. After stealing from us, after stealing our land, after giving away our identity, after giving away our freedom, after telling us to keep quiet, they are fighting for us. Meanwhile, they are enslaving us, right? They still make sure they put pension in the government so that until they die, we'll continue to feed them, we'll continue to buy clothes for them, we'll continue to pay for their medical fees, we'll continue to fund their drivers, we'll continue to buy them new cars. And they are not done. They said they will continue to choose who determine who gets what. So if you want to blame anybody, please, if you love yourself, don't call your slave master to come and save you. In fact, if you do, it will be to his own advantage. Do not grab the chain the second time. Thank you very much for your time. I enjoyed myself tonight, and I hope you did as well. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtains. To those of you who took your time to join us today, thank you. And to my friends on YouTube, I hope that went well. So thank you. And to my friends who are also reaching out to me, who want to bring up their advert on Maiyegun's diary, let me tell you, this is the world. This is the world we are in today. And do not be found wanting. So I've got a good price for you. And when you come on, I can tell the world about what you do, right? This is legit. We will not beg any politicians for money. And there is no reason. There won't be any reason for it. I live in the UK, you know that. I will only be doing that if I am actually really greedy. And I'm not. So they don't have what my intellectual property alone can make me in life. Nigeria politicians don't have it. If they have it, maybe they should help those who are praising them on social media. Some of you who are the Buhari Diderins, those of you who are the Abobakus of Lagos, maybe your leaders, they should spend the money they have on you. I have enough to make me rich. You have not seen anything yet. And I have enough to make many, many other intelligent people rich beyond their belief. If you have the capacity, just wait for it. It's coming. Thank you very much for your time, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'll see you some other time. Good evening.
Maiyegun ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra. Sorry, I'm checking my screen there. So yeah, kí wọ́n ṣe. Ọmọ bá dérò ní fi wọn níran. Maiyegun sọ pé wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun sọ pé wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣá ti ṣe yìí. Àwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn dé bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọmọ bá dérò ní fi wọn níran. Kì máa ṣeré. Kì máa ṣeré. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù ọmọ. Maiyegun ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ẹ súnra kì, ẹ behave. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe. Ọmọ bá dérò. So that is me. I'll see you some other time. Thank you.